Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. That's a beauty. That's a real beauty. AOC, I call it AOC +3. Ilhan Omar, who doesn't love our country. Doesn't love our country. You're going to get me in trouble. I won't say what you said. Last time that happened, they made the exact same, don't worry. They made the exact same statement as you, and they criticized me for not getting angry at the people in the audience. You remember that? So we won't say it, but they know what I mean. And Rashida Tlaib, that's another one. That's great. And they all mean to defund and disband police departments. That's what they want to do, defund and disband the police. Biden and Bernie's manifesto. So, you know, they agreed to a manifesto. I call it a manifesto. They don't call it that. It is a manifesto. But it's sort of strange because, you know, we thought it would go right. That's further left than Bernie ever was. If you look, open borders, don't go after criminals, immediate education for illegal aliens, health care for illegal aliens when our own people don't necessarily get it. It's crazy. But it's further left than Bernie ever was, and it's a disaster. And ban fracking, forget about energy. Your energy costs here will go way up. 2 days ago, I was in Texas. I said, you know, Bernie wants to ban fracking and ban oil. They said, oh, we didn't know that. I think we'll vote for Trump. I think winning Texas and being against oil and gas is not good. Do you agree? Typically, oh, they're also against guns. That's where Florida kicks in. They want to get rid of your Second Amendment. They will. If something happens here, one of the unexpected things that can happen, but they would immediately go for the Second Amendment, and I'm protecting your Second Amendment, totally protecting it. Biden supports lethal sanctuary cities which release dangerous criminal aliens onto the streets. They protect aliens, much more so than people that aren't aliens. They protect criminals. And Biden opposes the death penalty, even for cop killers and child murderers. I see in Boston, where you have the animal that killed so many people during the Boston Marathon, they just sent his conviction for the death penalty back to the lower court, so they'll argue about that for a long time. It's ridiculous. Think of that. It's ridiculous. Under the last administration, funding for local police was cut by hundreds of millions of dollars, and now they're talking about a much larger cut. 80% of the state and local enforcement surveyed reported a drop in federal funding. And MS-13 was allowed to go wild in our cities during the last administration. We've taken thousands and thousands of MS-13 the hell out of our country, and we brought them back. And now with the wall up to 267 miles, we built 267 miles. They don't talk about it. You never hear about the wall anymore. Used to be the biggest subject. Now I want the fake news media to talk about the wall. They don't want to talk about it. But it's had a great impact on the border. Mexico's had a great impact. They've been really nice to us. They have 27,000 soldiers on our southern border protecting us from people coming in from lots of places. Some places that aren't working out so good, but from Mexico, you know, coming illegally into our country, and Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador. So we have the strongest border we've ever had, and as the wall gets up, nothing gets through that wall. That wall was built to last and last a long time. You know, when we were building the wall, I went to Border Patrol. Border Patrol, ICE, these are incredible people. And I went to them and I said, what kind of wall do you want? Do you want a nice solid concrete wall that I can throw up real quick? They said, no, sir, we need to have some see-through ability, right? And they want see-through, and ideally we want steel, sir, but we also want concrete. So we'd like steel on the outside, concrete on the inside, and then, sir, if you could put heavy strength rebar. I said, well, this is getting to be a little bit much. But we gave them everything they want, and the plate on top, that's an anti-climb plate for those that are interested. That makes it very tough to climb. First I said, I don't like the plate on top. They say, sir, that's for anti-climb. Makes it much tougher to climb. I figured I could save a few bucks. We didn't save the money, but we got it for the right price. So we're at over almost 270 miles. By the end of this year, it'll be just about finished, maybe early next year, just about. And we actually are doing more wall than we stated we were going to do. We're going to be over 500 miles. That's a lot of wall. It's a lot of wall. And it's having a tremendous impact. Wherever the wall is built, people aren't coming through. You can't get through. So the victims of the radical anti-police policies are millions of innocent Americans of every race, color, and background, including countless amazing Hispanic Americans who follow our laws, love our country, uplift our communities, and want safety for themselves and for the families. And I'll tell you what, the Hispanic Americans understand the border better than anybody, even me. I think I've become an expert. But they understand, and they want great people coming into the country. And they don't want people taking their jobs, and they don't want people taking their houses and taking their prosperity. But we've had a tremendous relationship. In fact, I was given, by the way, the Cubans. Do we have any Cubans here? I was given last time the Bay of Pigs Award. Bay of Pigs Award. They gave me the Bay of Pigs Award, so that was a big thing. We do great with Venezuelans. We're taking care of Venezuela, and we're taking care of Cuba. Joe Biden and the radical left's outrageous campaign against law enforcement is the major reason violent crime is surging in Democrat-run cities all across the nation. Where you have a Democrat-run city, you have a city with problems. If Joe Biden is elected president, the chaos and bloodshed will spread to every community in our land. You'll have a Portland everywhere. Look at Portland. It's like from 100 years ago. But I will tell you, Homeland Security has been incredible. A number of days ago, we sent them to protect the courthouse, if you can believe this. We actually sent them in, and they've done a great job. They protected it. These rallies or these riots, terrorists, anarchists, they've been going on now for 64 days. So 7 days ago, we sent them in. They protected the courthouse. And now we gave them a very short period of time, like days. They actually started yesterday to clean up their city and get rid of this, let's say these people, because I almost used a bad term. And I would have been in trouble with all of those people up there, right? That's the news. See, there they are. A couple of good ones, mostly bad ones. But we would have been in big trouble. But we cleaned it up, and they emptied out the park last night. You know, they're supposed to invite us in, but we invited ourselves. But if they don't clean it up, we'll be sending in people, and we'll take care of it in about 2 hours. It'll go very quickly. But they know that. They know that. But I want to thank Homeland Security because they protected the courthouse. By the time they got there, the graffiti was all over the place, but they were looking to blow it up and tear it down. In Joe Biden's America, you and your family will never be safe. Rioters and criminals will be totally protected. Law-abiding citizens will be totally disarmed. And American families will be at the mercy of the violent left-wing mob that you've been watching on television. There will be no safety, no security, no peace, no justice, no one to protect you, and no one to defend the American way of life. People like standing behind me will not be considered prime time. With me, they are considered prime time. They're the best we have. They're the best we have. I mean it. I mean it. Under my administration, we take a different approach. As president, I will always stand with the incredible men and women of law enforcement. And by the way, that means your unbelievable first responders, your unbelievable firemen and women, your unbelievable groups of people that work the ambulances and the doctors and the nurses that are so brave, and we're with all of them. Upon taking office, I ended the last administration's 8-year crusade to cripple our sheriffs, our police officers, and law enforcement heroes all over our country. I made available $760 million worth of surplus military equipment to protect police in the line of duty. Did all of you get some of that? Pretty much, right? Because they weren't doing it. They didn't want to do it because they said it made the police look too strong. I said, what's that all about? And a lot of it is defensive equipment, right? It's the trucks and the heavy armor and things to defend yourselves. And it was sitting in warehouses all over the United States drawing dust, just getting older and older. Some of it was brand new, but it would just get older and older. And one of the first things I did was distribute it throughout the land, throughout the United States, distribute it and get it to our police departments. And we had a lot of equipment distributed, close to $1 billion worth of equipment. We're sending hundreds of federal law enforcement officers into places like Chicago and other cities to help them. And if they don't get their act straightened out, in Chicago, over the last few weeks, you had hundreds of people shot and far too many people, I won't even give you the number, it's a disgrace, far too many people killed, including young children, who were supposedly by accident, probably were by accident, stray bullets. And they'll either get their act straightened out, cleaned up, or we're going to clean it up for them, and they know that. I pledge to every law enforcement officer here and anywhere in this land that if I'm reelected, I will fight for our police every single day. I do anyway. I fight like hell for our police, and sometimes I'll see it. I'll see it on the other side. I'll see it with the Democrats. They always want to cut back from the police. And, you know, you're talking about peanuts. You're talking about small amounts of money relative to the kind of horror that can happen with death and with destruction and all of the things you look at. These people are great, and they do a phenomenal job. They're brave, they're strong, and frankly, I know they're well paid. They're not well paid enough as far as I'm concerned. And I'll work with the Republican Congress, where we have great support and great support for law enforcement, to confront the far-left local prosecutors in Democratic-run cities who are refusing to prosecute crimes, even murder. And when they do, they let people out almost instantly. It's incredible. Not even, you wouldn't even believe it could be happening. They have murderers in Philadelphia. Take a look at your prosecutor, your chief prosecutor in Philadelphia, and what's happening in that city, where people that kill, people that murder, get out automatically and quickly, or don't even go to jail at all. Killers. We'll drive out the fanatical anti-police ideology of the radical socialists, Marxists, anarchists, and agitators. And I'll fight to ensure that criminals who murder our police officers immediately and quickly, with a fair trial, but quickly, receive the death penalty. Together, we will keep American families safe. We'll make every American community secure, and we will make America great again. You've heard that before. That's what's happening. And we were there until the virus came upon us, and we'll soon be there again. We'll soon be there again. And China, we have not forgotten. We have not forgotten. I'd like now to ask Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey to say a few words, followed by Pasco County Sheriff Chris Narco, who's two fantastic people. Maybe you'll say a couple of words, please, Sheriff.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. President, thank you for standing with us today. I'm Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey, and today I'm extremely proud to stand with fellow sheriffs from across the state of Florida as we proudly give our support to President Donald J. Trump. Let there be no mistake, President Trump understands that government's one and only responsibility is to protect its citizens. That's why myself and thousands of law enforcement officers across our great nation support President Trump, as he understands that America's sheriffs and law enforcement officers are the first and last line of defense for our citizens and our constitutional rights. I've been a law enforcement officer for over 40 years, and I've never seen a time with challenges like our country faces today. A time when all of a sudden there are those who suggest defunding the police, going soft on crime, and even worse, that it's okay to commit acts of violence and looting simply because they oppose law and order. Now, like never before, America needs a president who stands strong with our law enforcement officers and who will be unwavering in protecting what I call our 3 C's, our citizens, our cops, and our Constitution. Donald Trump is that president, and each of us on this stage knows just how important it is to have his continued support from the White House in making sure that America's law enforcement officers have the resources, tools, and backing that it takes to get the job done. Folks, we need a president who will continue to be unwavering in standing strong for law and order, and not a president that has never stood strong for anything. We need a president that will continue to say if you break the law, you go to jail, and not a president that wants to give criminals hugs or blame law enforcement officers for doing their jobs of putting bad people in jail. Now more than ever, we need a president that ignores the insanity of those who suggest defunding the police, and a president who stands shoulder to shoulder with the brave men and women of law enforcement who put their lives on the line every day to protect our citizens, our homes, our businesses, and our way of life. Donald J. Trump is that president, and what we need is to make absolutely certain that we keep him in Washington, D.C., where he can stand with those who protect our communities and our country. Donald Trump is the president that stands strong with our law enforcement officers and our military, a president who honors those who heroically stand at the gate fighting evil. There's only one candidate for president that can honestly say they are law and order. Only one clear-cut candidate that is willing to stand on the steps of the Capitol and say, these are our cops, our protectors, and it's time we as a nation stand to protect them. In my view, there's only one candidate for president in 2020 that even understands what law and order means. And that is why we are all standing here today, Mr. President, in support of you, because we need someone in Washington who will be unwavering in the protection of our citizens, our cops, and our Constitution. Donald J. Trump is that someone, and we are all proud to stand with him in the protection of our great nation. Mr. President, we standing here with you and others around the country are proud to stand with you in the protection of our country, and we thank you for always standing with us, sir.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you.
How you doing, Tampa Bay? Who are we going to vote in office? That's right, we're going to bring them back in. 4 more years, we need them. I want to thank Senator Wilton Simpson. I know he brought Pasco down here. Did you, Senator? And Senator Rick Scott, he's up there in D.C. working very, very hard for us. Thank you, Senator, very much. Mr. President, next time you come, we're going to do a boat parade instead.
Good.
It's much better.
Good.
My beautiful wife, Bridget, recommended that. I'm proud to stand here with my fellow sheriffs to endorse and support President Donald Trump for his re-election. And like him, we are praying for everybody in the path of this hurricane. I also am very proud President Trump stands with those brave and strong law enforcement officers, those women and men that are out there trying to be peacemakers. Because right now we're hurting. Our families are hurting. But he's the one who's standing up there supporting us, along with all of you. And I want to say thank you very much. I'm also going to touch upon something that's getting lost out there, but it's absolutely true what President Trump has done for us. He understands the healthcare issue of mental health and substance abuse that we all deal with. And law enforcement has become an issue that we deal with, but it's a healthcare issue, especially in Florida, that we are dealing with. And he has stood up during his presidency to help those people. During his first term, he's championed to expand drug treatment in federal prisons and enhance reentry programs. President Trump understands that good people became addicts, not because of issues of their own, but because they were led to opioids, and that became a dependency that they become marginalized in. But he's reached out to help them. Those are those people that we deal with every day. And when you hear that unfortunate term, defund the police, that's defunding those people with mental health and substance abuse that need our help. President Trump did not ignore their plight. He helped them and their families because every one of us knows somebody. He also held the first White House summit on mental health. He's been fighting for more funding to support those who need that help. Those healthcare issues that we deal with in our community are overwhelming law enforcement. He understands that. President Trump is out there supporting us because he understands they're not just statistics of people who have been killed by opioids. That's our grandchildren, our sons, our daughters, our brothers, our sisters, and a friend. Those are those people that need that help. This president is the one who stood up and is helping them, helping us help them too. President Trump has been that leader that has reached his hand out to so many different communities. He's that one that is reaching out there, giving them a hand, and getting them back on their feet. Those are the people we deal with. It's that person who's the victim of domestic violence. It's that person who's had a drug addiction issue and is looking for help. Those are those quiet people that are out there that don't have a voice that President Trump gave to. And I'm very thankful to stand here with him because those are the issues we deal with. I'm very proud to have a president that is going to reach out and give them a helping hand. And that is something that's unfortunately lost in our society, is the big heart that this president has. May God bless our president. May God bless our country.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks, Chris. So, Chris and Wayne, thank you very much. It's incredible. These people, I shouldn't say this, but I will. I wanted to come down the stairs of that beautiful plane. I wanted to shake their hands, then I wanted to hug them and kiss them, but I won't be able to do that for about maybe 90 days or so. We'll be back. We'll be back. But we want to thank you all. These are incredible people behind me, law enforcement all over the country. They're working. Some are allowed to do their job. Many are not allowed to do their job anymore. And those are the places with trouble. But we're turning that around. We're turning it around very, very strongly. I will always be with these great people. I will always be with them. I will never let them down. And I will always be with the people of Florida. You're a special state. It's very important to me. And we're going to go on. You're seeing what's going on. Those polls are going up, up, up. We had an easy campaign, and then we got hit by the China virus, and China couldn't have been happier because they said, well, maybe we can get rid of that guy. That would be good. We don't want him as president. We like the other one very much. They would own this country. I tell you, if they dealt with Biden, they would own this country. Be very quick, too. It wouldn't take long. But it didn't happen that way with me. They've gone the opposite way. We were going one way up, and they were not doing well. So I just want to thank everybody here. Be careful a little bit tonight. It's a pretty big storm. I don't know if it's going to be a hurricane or not, but it's a storm. It's significant. And you know how to handle those storms and hurricanes better than anybody probably in the world, so I'm not overly worried. But we'll be here for you. The declaration's ready to be signed already before you even get hit. And I just want to thank again Florida, and I want to thank law enforcement. Incredible people. Thank you. Who did better? I don't know. Thank you, fellas. Thank you. Gotta get by you. Come through. Come through.